Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Eleanor Nifata and today I want to talk about the Newsflesh trilogy and the companion book Feedback by Mira Grant. A few months ago I did an individual review video for Feed. I'll leave it linked in the description if you want to check it out. In this video I'm just going to do an overview of the series and the companion book, give you my thoughts, recommend it to you, and I'm not going to delve into spoilers in this video because I'm buddy reading this series, or I did buddy read this series with Faye and Kayla. I'll leave their channels linked below, and it is the intention for us to do a live show full of spoilers where we discuss all the things we loved and hated about the series and we'll delve into all our theories and what we loved about it. So the Newsflash trilogy, you're following Georgia and Sean Mason, who are like adopted siblings, and they lived with their adopted parents, and this is set like 25 years after the zombie outbreak. My cat is sitting on my laptop. Please don't do that. I'll leave them sitting. I'll leave the books up there so you can see them. Hiya. He's up there now. I'm going to remove my cup of tea. This is set about 25 years after the zombie outbreak, and the world is kind of in a new semblance of normal. So you can still go to the shops and you can buy food and you still live in your house, but everything's like reinforced. You're doing constant blood tests to see if you've developed and amplified into a zombie. So everything in this world is like super safe and secure, and the only way, originally with the outbreak, people didn't trust real news sources like from TV and print media because they lied and kind of covered up what was going on a little bit to kind of not panic people. So the truthful people at that time were online bloggers. So in this kind of post-America, post-world of the zombie outbreak, it's bloggers who control like the kind of main media space online. So that's the kind of world that Mira Grant has set up. So Sean and Georgia are online bloggers. They've got their own kind of company, as they say, of online bloggers, where they tell the news, they go out, they kill zombies, and they kind of do what news people do. I should say, I don't know. In this first book, Feed, it's the start of like the presidential election campaign. So they applied and got accepted to follow a presidential candidate across America while he's speaking to the public and in the race to become president. At first, this was not a book I thought I would enjoy because of the political aspect. I don't like political books at all, but the inclusion of all the zombies and all the violence and the intrigue about this world and what's going on really sold it to me, and I absolutely loved this first book. I can't really say too much more about the rest of the series because there's so much happens in Feed that anything you say about the next books spoils it. What I loved is the science of this world. So over time you learn where the zombie kind of virus came from. It's called Kellis Amberley, after the two people that were kind of instrumental in it kind of appearing in the world. And the science is so like believable. It kind of trickles in and it builds up, and the further through the series you go, the more you learn about the science. And crazy things happen in here with the science. It does go quite bonkers, but because you've had that slow lead in, it's tumbled over each other and led on from each other. You're kind of with it and you believe it. And that's what I love. And in the acknowledgements, Mira Grant says that she consulted quite a few doctors in different fields and some of her friends and stuff, and they helped consult on the science and the believability of the world. And I think that was really well done. I like the characters of this world and I like their relationships. It's a very diverse cast of people and personalities, and you can see how the different types of people have developed in this post-zombie outbreak world. Because a lot of people are kind of just shut in their houses and they're too scared to go out and do anything. So they just live in little bubbles. You don't have large gatherings of people, which is quite funny. Not ha-ha funny though, but we're in a pandemic right now. We're avoiding people, we're taking constant tests, and we're not seen in crowded gathered places. So it does echo similarly of the current world situation. But at least we're not turning into zombies. But yeah, it just breathes believability, and you can imagine the world kind of evolving into this if something like that happens, and I just think it's really good. For me, the politicalness of it didn't get in the way of me enjoying it, but if you're someone who struggles with political books, I would encourage you to try out Feed and let's see how you go with it. For me, it was just really well balanced with all the other aspects because you're following you are following a political campaign, but it's from like the news perspective, and obviously things go down. It's not straightforward as that. It's quite a big book. A lot happens, but I think it just works. Then you've got this companion book. Now this book is running parallel to the first book, Feed, but it's following the opposite side of the presidential campaign. So Feed, you're on one side of the political world, and on the side you're following the other. This book is fantastic in its representation. You have a lesbian main character, you have a bi character, there's also a non-binary character, and the four of them and their other friend, and there's the four of them, and they perform this. They have this team, and they work together, and they're also like bloggers for the other side of the presidential campaign. I would encourage you to not pick this up until you've read the trilogy, because this is more, I feel like it doesn't work on its own very well, because so much of what you hear about this is kind of background filler information to the main series, and when you get to the end of it you link things in together and go, oh, that's nice to learn and to link in together, and it's good in that way. I don't know if it's just because I was coming on such a high of reading the trilogy and loving that so much. For the first half of this book, maybe the first 2/3 of this book, this was going to be like a 2 or 3 star for me. I wasn't enjoying it that much. It had great representation, it was still in this world, but the characters lacked depth, and I didn't feel like I was connecting to any of them, and it just didn't have the same feel to it, and there wasn't as exciting a premise going on. It just seemed a bit lackluster. But then you get 2/3 of the way through, more drama stuff kicks in, the plot really punches through, and it ended up finishing in a really like cataclysmic way, and it was great, and I liked the ending. So be aware of that going in, depending on how you enjoy your books. So this wasn't on par with the trilogy, but I think it's a really good companion book, and I would encourage you to pick it up anyway if you have loved the series, because why not? And it gives you more information and it connects people together, and I love that. Sometimes when you have questions unanswered in a series, sometimes it's nice not to know more about it, but sometimes it is quite nice to link things together. I will say that there is a few trigger warnings for this series, and I'll leave a timestamp to skip ahead to if you don't want to hear the trigger warnings, because it might spoil it for you. There is a lot of character death in this series, as in like quite significant characters, kind of death, and there's also a large undertone of talking about like suicide. There's a lot of mental health issues with these characters because they go through so much trauma, and some people may say that the representation is good, some people might say it's not done well, but I can't really comment on that. It is there. There's a lot of mental health problems, a lot of struggle with that, and a lot of references to like suicide and giving up and things of that nature. But I think that ties in with the zombie apocalyptic world. Like if you get infected, a lot of people want to just take their own life because they don't want to actually amplify into a zombie. So just bear that in mind if you're picking this series up. No more about the trigger warnings or the spoilers. Overall, I absolutely adored this series and this world, and I think Mira Grant is a fantastic writer. She writes really engaging characters, brilliant premise and plot. She did something slightly different with the zombie, traditional zombie storyline, and I think she really pulled it off very successfully. I would totally recommend this series to people who love zombie books, and I will leave a link in the description in the future, the video of us doing this live show discussion. I'll leave it linked here so that you can go watch it in the future when we've done that. Who knows when that'll happen. But I just enjoyed this reading experience so much because I was buddying it with my friends. We kept pace with each other to a certain extent, and we had our group chat and we were talking constantly about all our thoughts and speculations, and I think that just overall made this a fantastic reading experience. So thank you for watching this review. It wasn't really a review, it was more of a recommendation video actually. Let me know if you've read this series below, what you thought of it. Leave me comments, I love having a chat with you, or if this has convinced you to pick the series up yourself. I would love to know. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.